Is now the right time to get a divorce? That's a question many women struggle with. And I can tell you as a divorce attorney for over 15 years that the biggest, most expensive divorce mistake women make is waiting until they feel ready. And the reason why women wait until they feel ready is because think about it. No wife wants to get a divorce. And so they wait. They wait for their spouse to do the things that they said they're going to do. They wait for their spouse to go with them to counseling. They wait for their spouse to stop doing the things they said they're going to stop doing. And they stop taking action on moving forward, right? Does that sound familiar to you? So let me ask you this. How long have you been telling yourself, I'm going to wait to start preparing for divorce until I feel ready? In this video, I'm going to tell you three things. First, I'm going to tell you how waiting can cost you your money, your time, and your peace. Second, I'm going to show you the three biggest mistakes that women make when they're thinking about a divorce. And third, I'm going to tell you what steps you can take right now to start protecting yourself while you make that decision on whether or not you're going to get divorced without making any dramatic moves. If you've been thinking about divorce and you didn't know what the next step was, this video is for you. And just a quick note, this is not legal advice. This is just general information for women who are considering a divorce. Mistake number one, waiting until you feel ready. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever thought to yourself, should I wait to prepare until I feel ready to get divorced? Does that sound familiar? If you have, here's the problem with that. Ready is a feeling, right? It's not a strategy. I've had women come into my office telling me they've been waiting for over a year. And during that time, nothing's changed in a relationship, but everything's changing about how they feel about their marriage. And if you're watching this right now, you might recognize this shift every day. And one day you could wake up in the morning and feel confident. And then you have a difficult conversation with your spouse, and then you're feeling hurt and upset. Then you start thinking about a divorce, but you worry about the kids. But then you go back to running the numbers to decide if you really could do it. Do you have the budget? What will you look like financially? All that emotional back and forth can keep women stuck. And many times it does for months and sometimes for years. Does this sound familiar to you? But just so you know, the best divorce outcomes don't come from a feeling. They come from three things: information, preparation, and strategy. While you don't have to decide today if you're leaving, you do need to decide if you're going to move forward and prepare. If you wait, you give up control. If you prepare, you take it back. Mistake number two, ignoring your finances. Let me ask you another question. Do you know what most wives stop paying attention to while they're deciding whether to get a divorce? Their money. And that could be the most expensive mistake they make. Because while they're focusing on saving their marriage, their spouse is focusing on something else. Many times it's spending money, they're creating debt, they're moving money between accounts, and they're hiding assets. I've seen it. I've met many wives here in North Carolina who didn't discover that their husbands had hidden credit cards or had secret loans or had been taking early withdrawals from their retirement accounts until the divorce process had started, right? And by the time they found out, the damage had already been done. And if you're the breadwinner, hear me now. You may actually be funding the very situation that harms you later. Waiting does not freeze your financial situation. Silence doesn't keep the peace, it keeps you uninformed. Mistake number three, believing everything your spouse says. Let me ask you this question. Has your spouse ever said to you, if you leave, I'll take the kids. If you leave, you'll get nothing. If you leave, you won't be able to afford the house. I've had many women tell me that's the reason why they've stayed in their marriage for so long. The unknown is scary, and when you don't understand your rights, fear has you believing every worst case scenario, like you won't have your kids, you won't have a house, you won't get everything that you're entitled to, which then keeps you stuck. But just so you know, in North Carolina, the law determines custody of the kids and property division and support, not your spouse. Fear grows in silence. Clarity gives you options. I became a divorce attorney to help guide people through the divorce process so they don't get screwed. And I can tell you, after practicing in divorce and family law for over 15 years, I've seen a dramatic difference in the outcomes of women who prepared for divorce and women who didn't prepare for a divorce. And I can tell you, without a doubt, that the women who prepared for divorce were better able to protect their kids, protect their money, and protect their peace. So they were able to leave with time with their kids, money in their pocket, and their self-worth intact. Waiting makes you react to the outcome. Preparation lets you shape it. If you're in the in-between space right now, thinking about divorce but unsure what to do next, the best place to start is with a plan. You can join me in my Divorce Without Fear webinar series, where I walk you through how to protect your money, how to protect your children, how to protect your peace before you make a move. And if you'd like help understanding your situation and what your options are under North Carolina law, you can schedule a consultation with my office. I do this because you're not your situation. No spouse, no courtroom, and no fear gets to decide your future. You're a woman of valor, and if you're ready to start preparing, you'll find the next steps in the link below.